Hello and welcome back to the season 2 of Discover Virginia Beach podcast. If you're just tuning in, welcome back. We're taking a deep dive into literally everything Virginia Beach area has to offer for the early time of night and for the early time of life and also the late time of the night as well. Today I'm joined by local DJ, Virginia Beach enthusiast, and active community member for events like the Samaritan House VB. I'm pleased to welcome Alexa Mae, or as they know her at Norva and Peabody's, Arayza. Alexa, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're super stoked you're here, and we appreciate you working around your busy schedule of not only working full-time during the day, but also tearing it up at the night scene and helping everybody have a good time. So we're super excited to dive into your story. So tell us, where are you from originally, and what brought you to the Virginia Beach area, and what got you to stick around?
Well, originally I'm actually from Southern California. So I was born near the beach, and then I lived in Las Vegas for 4 years before coming here because my spouse at the time was in the military. And so I've stuck around because it's actually been a pretty beautiful, peaceful place to live compared to everywhere else that I've been. And it's pretty nice. So, yeah.
That's so awesome to hear. And especially somebody coming from the West Coast. I had an opportunity to fly out to Vegas and the West Coast this spring to visit some colleagues of mine. And, quite frankly, I'm going to brag on Virginia Beach a little bit. It definitely has better vibes and a lot more affordability when it comes to just going out and about. But we love our West Coast friends, and we really love everything they have going on there. So Alexa, would you mind sharing us your first memory of being inspired by music or DJing altogether?
Yeah. So in Las Vegas during COVID, this is kind of bad, but we did have underground raves. So we would drive out about 2 hours into the desert, and someone would set up a janky stage made out of plywood and some old wheels, and we would just rave from 10 p.m. till 8 a.m. And um, I was going through a bit of postpartum depression, so I think going there with my best friends and seeing people having the time of their life and the DJs be normal people as well inspired me to be able to do that on my own. So that was the first time that I thought that I could do it, and that I actually went to a rave and really, really enjoyed it.
Wow, what a story to tell. So were you ever into DJing before, or going into raves in general before that moment? More as
I
that
actually didn't listen to much EDM before that. I didn't know much about the rave scene, electronic music. Obviously now I know that it's embedded into everything, in everything, but I didn't know anything about it before now.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, EDM takes place in all the viral trends and the baseline for a lot of soundtracks and movies, and also in a lot of the basic but very popular pop songs we hear of today. Except
Yeah.
for Taylor Swift, she's got her own thing going on. Shout out to Taylor, she's
Yeah.
doing her own thing, but whatever. So take us back to this desert rave. What does that entail? I'd love to know more, and please feel free to share as much or as little as you want, because I know it's during a time when it's not necessarily always seen in the viewpoint of the city as appropriate to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but at the end of the day, it was an outlet for people, and I think it
Yeah.
was still a good way for people to have an outlet, and since it was outdoors. That being said, the space where we would have these raves, there was like a canyon next to it as well. So there was this huge canyon that was behind
Built-in
all the
stage.
stages.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we would have little vendors set up as well. That was pretty cool. We would have people selling hot chocolate or their homemade goods, stuff like that. People would just pull up in their trucks and their cars and their RVs and just park out, and we would just dance night or all night. There was this one time for Halloween, we had about I want to say 1,000 people out in the desert just
Wow.
raving, and there was flamethrowers and just people spitting out fire, and there was people dressed as clowns doing they were spinning flaming rods in the air. It was insane. It just went really crazy.
Oh my goodness. That sounds like a very fun time and a very inspiring opportunity to just kind of reflect. And as you said, help deal with all the stuff you had going on during that season of your life. As you already alluded to, you did move back to the Virginia Beach area. And I'd love to talk and transition into your second life of Aryza, if that's okay. So I personally, I love YouTube. I waste a ton of time, watching fail videos and, looking at memes of The Office. But you actually took YouTube and used it as a tool to learn how to DJ. Could you tell us more about like what got you to do that? Like what inspired you to do that?
Yeah, so like I said, seeing how the DJs at that one desert rave were just like regular people like me, that really inspired me to just figure out a way to be able to do it on my own. So
Yeah.
actually how I started was this app on iPhone. It's this app called DJ, DJAY. And so I would connect my SoundCloud to that app and I would be able to mix on my phone. So I just have like these two tiny little mixers on my phone, and I would have the little filter buttons. And I learned basic anatomy of the DJ board
Sure.
by
The
by
wiki,
on
right?
the app.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then I just was able to save up some money, got myself a physical board, and then just learned off some DJs off YouTube because a lot of people have tutorials. One of the first ones that I watched was actually Alice in Wonderland, who inspires me a lot, actually. She played at EDC this year and then had her baby like 2 days later.
Oh my goodness. Well,
Yeah.
that's a jam-packed sentence right there. Hold on. So Alice in Wonderland, not the movie, but the EDC artist, correct?
Yeah.
And then for our viewers who may not be familiar with the, including myself, I'm not going to pretend I know all the acronyms here. EDC, what does that stand for you?
EDC is Electric Daisy Carnival, which is
Okay.
the festival that is at the Las Vegas Speedway.
Okay, gotcha. So it's a certain type of carnival that exists, that Alice in Wonderland busted out 2 days before she had her
Yeah.
sweet baby.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. And you yourself have a son too. Did you have did you have your kid at that point in time, or was
Yeah.
it prior? Okay. So it sounds like it really resonated with you.
Yeah, it really stuck with me, just because there's been a lot of times where as a mom, I have felt, especially as a young mom, I felt like being a DJ maybe isn't the best thing for my family and my son, but it's still something that I should be able to work through and show him that anything is possible. And I want him to be able to do the same when he grows up.
Sure, I love that, and that reminded me. I meant to ask you in the last section, but this probably ties into it a little bit too. Now that you've shared that, has there been a piece of advice that you've received that you find yourself coming back to again and again to help kind of like guide you through the compass of navigating motherhood and also the life of a DJ and also the life of figuring out Virginia Beach and working a day job? Like, is there any advice that sticks out to you?
Um, I think something that just sticks with me is that I want my son to be proud of me and I want him to see how hardworking I am and that I do everything for him. And I think I just want to prove that to myself as well, that I can finish what I started.
Absolutely. And so when you say finish what you started, do you feel like there is a certain point or a certain milestone that you would like to hit within the DJ sphere and in the DJ community in general?
I think yes, but it's not so much about time for me. It's more about just things I want to be able to accomplish, like playing at certain venues or playing at certain festivals and doing certain things like building a charity or building a shelter in Las Vegas. That would be super cool. Buying a home for my family, stuff like that.
I love that. Yeah. So it's not necessarily a 5-year goal because those things don't really exist, but it's that milestone of each and every day making your son proud and then also taking one step closer or maybe half a step on some days, right? When you're a little tired and you got to push through it to get closer to that goal. I love that. And we will definitely want to come back to that here in a moment about your charity and your community involvement. But on the DJ side, I'd love to hear from you. what is it really like being a DJ in a beach city? I mean, the stereotype is, somebody with these ginormous headphones, and the wiki board, and they're just lights everywhere. What is it really like?
Well, I think for me, it's been pretty hectic. I've been blessed enough to have consistency in my bookings and my job. So I would just say it's very hectic for me. It's very um, out of nowhere too. Like one day I was at Aqua Social Club at the oceanfront, and one of my friends was there DJing. My friend Steven Dotson and Mike Evie, and they actually invited me to end up playing there. So it's just little things where you might end up with a gig out of the blue. Um, but I wouldn't say I involve myself too much with the scene other than just going to work and then going home, unless I'm at a show that I really, really like.
Sure, sure. Yeah. And it's not one of those jobs where you sign up for a job posting, right? Or you see a flyer. It's more so word of mouth or specific to the
Yeah.
event. I get that. I get that. And so when because I'd love to encourage and invite people to go out and see your shows and events. When it comes to maybe some frequently visited venues, do you have a certain spot you like to go and perform at, or where can people go to learn more about your shows and such?
So it would be really random, honestly. So the best way to catch up with me would be on my Instagram at Arayza Music.
Perfect.
But
We'll put that in the show notes as well as with your SoundCloud. I was
yeah,
just before our call. I was typing up the notes for the interview. I was like, man, these are some great sounds.
thank you so much. But yeah, I think the closest thing that I'm going to be doing will be November 19th at Seaside Raw Bar on the oceanfront. I'll be doing a brunch event. So that'll be really fun. But other than that, I don't have anything lined up, but I'm sure something will come up. So keep up with me on
Once it
socials.
pops up, so you gotta be in the know. It's part of being in that type of industry, right? You got to be on
Yeah.
social. You got to be following Aryza and as well as Alexa to figure out everything what's going on. It's just Aryza
Yeah.
on Instagram, so we keep it simple. Was there before we get into your community involvement, I'd love to ask you one more question about the DJ side. Is there a certain track or beat that is really personal to you and your journey?
Um, I think yeah, there's a few, but right now there's this one song called Wind Horse by Of the Trees, and it's a more slower instrumental kind of like a trap beat song, but it really means a lot to me because I heard it around all my best friends during a hard time, and the pep talks that I was getting during that time was just like, don't give up. You're going to succeed. Because you really do feel down about yourself when you're in the DJ business sometimes, because it could really go nowhere so fast and you just get insecure sometimes. But so, yeah, I was getting a lot of good feedback during that song. So that song right now means a lot to me.
I am applaud you for what you do because there's definitely similar to my industry. There's a lot of nature that's very unpredictable about the business. So it's kind of when it's good months, it's good months, and so when it's slow, it's drastically slow, and there's not
Yeah.
as much opportunity to provide. Although you still possess the same amount of initiative and skills as you do any time of season, whether it's in demand or not. Um, those moments with our friends are great, and that's really really cool that you have that community. Really important for development in general, and just being a part of a larger community. I mean, the community plays a big role, not only in business here in the area, but also in helping keep people together. I'd love to know from you, what type of community have you built within the DJ community itself, and what impact has the community affected or changed the way in which you do business?
For me, I feel like I have been impacted by the community in a way where I just want to be people's friend. I want people to feel like I'm their friend. I want to be genuine. Um, I want to help uplift people. I actually had a friend who recently passed away by taking her own life. So I think I've been really reflecting on myself and my community and how people have acted towards me and just really hope to reflect love and kindness.
Alexa, I'm so sorry for your loss.
No, yeah, it's okay.
That's tough when you come in those instances of you're trying to be there and be supportive, and then something changes. And I understand you do a lot of work to help impact and change people's lives, specifically with the Samaritan House. That's something you're very passionate about, supporting victims of domestic violence and abuse. What impact have you had on that, and how has that organization impacted the way in which you view helping other people?
That was actually really awesome to be able to do. It was actually back in March of this year. I hosted an event at Peabody's nightclub. I headlined a show there, and we were able to raise $160 in cash donations and a car full of diapers, clothes, pillows, blankets, a bunch of stuff for the shelter. And yeah, I haven't been able to host any other donation drives since, but that made me feel really awesome to be able to give back to my community when I could. And yeah, I just hope to be able to help victims of domestic violence and abuse. Being one myself, it is something that I'm very strong about.
Sure, sure. And I do, of course, want to be respectful of your journey, but has there been any reflective pieces or possibly some inspiration that you've kind of pulled from that experience that you'd like to share with others? Or are you still in the process of processing?
No, I guess I was just in a very bad relationship. And so something I think I would just like to say is just check on your friends as much as they say they're okay, say they're happy. Um, they may not be. If they spend too much time at home, take them out. Just be there for your people.
That is very sweet to hear, and a very good and simple reminder to just check on your friends, and definitely go see Aryza on her next show, and tune in on her Instagram to see when she's playing next. In the meantime, though, we're going to transition back to Alexa. Alexa, we have some rapid fire questions for you. These questions are light and fast, rapid fire. You can answer them with as much or as little detail as you want. Are you ready?
Yes.
All righty. First question is, who is your favorite DJ?
I would say, dang, right now, Vnssa.
Vnssa. Does she have
Yeah.
a handle or any other identifiers so people can go and check her out?
So her name is spelled Vnssa, and that'll be her Instagram. Yeah.
Yes. Perfect. I'll put that in the show notes down below so people can go and check out Vnssa. All righty. Next question. What's one beat, song, or DJ trend that you could honestly just live without?
I would say it would be Paul's signature, like, yeah, his signature. He goes like every time his beat drops, he goes. It's like some weird laugh, and I hate it so much. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel that way about Pitbull listed worldwide. Those are. Is that similar? Is that similar in the way?
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, did you forget your mic is on? You're still
Yeah,
talking?
literally.
Okay. I will not put any of those names in the show notes. Just once you hear those, delete those from your brain, and we'll keep going with the rapid fire. Favorite Virginia beach to visit?
I would say East Beach.
East Beach. Love it. And for those people who don't know, definitely go and check out my free Facebook group, Discover Virginia Beach. There's actually 10 unique beach experiences, and I dive into all of those. And in the meantime, East Beach. And I believe, are you referring to Chicks Beach, or are you referring to Chesapeake Beach? Sorry, beach as in Norfolk on the bay side, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yes. So stay tuned for that. We actually, not separate from this episode, but we have another Airbnb tour that we'll be doing, highlighting an East Beach Airbnb sponsored with Sojourn. So stay tuned for that, folks. It's definitely been a lot of fun. And so with that in mind, we definitely want to be respectful of your time. Alexa, thank you so much for joining us on today's conversation. Before we go, I definitely want to give you the spotlight, roll out the red carpet for you. Is there anything going on that you'd like to promote, or any events or a special message that you'd like to leave the audience with today?
Just thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me be here. I'm playing at Seaside Raw Bar November 19th. It'll be around 11 a.m., I believe. And keep you up on my social at Arayza Music. And yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. Awesome. Well, Alexa, before we go, got one final question for you. And that is, what's one question I didn't ask you yet that you would have liked me to ask?
I think where my favorite place to eat is.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's give you a scenario just to give you some parameters. I got to interview Stormy Blue recently. She'll be featured on the podcast as well. She does a tremendous job highlighting all the food places. And one of her most frequently asked question is her least favorite question. And that is, what do you recommend to eat? Because she's like, I've interviewed hundreds of businesses. So I'm going to give you some scenario. Is that okay, Alexa? All right.
Yeah.
So let's say that there's a tragic, terrible fire. Nobody's injured, but all the restaurants burned down except maybe your favorite type of food. And there's only 3 of them that survived this massive fire featured all over the Virginia pilot. No one was injured, not even a crab. What are the 3 restaurants?
Park Lane Tavern, Abbey Road, and Chicks.
Park Lane Tavern, Chicks, and what was the second one? The second one you said?
The Abbey Road.
Abbey Road. Oh, we love Abbey Road. Yes, absolutely. Wonderful. Well, I really have had a wonderful time conversing with you, Alexa. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak with you, to hear about the music, as well as the message that you have of inspiring people to get out there, have some fun, and also to be supportive within your community and within your friend group. And with that said, that brings us to another end of an episode of Discover Virginia Beach podcast. Thank you again, Alexa, and thank you, our dedicated listeners, for checking us out for another episode. We hope you've enjoyed this conversation. Definitely go and follow Alexa. Let her know what you thought of the episode in the comments section below. And until next time, go out and discover Virginia Beach and find some fun things that you'd like to do. I'll see you all in the next episode.